All right, welcome to Boise State Fun with Styles with Bob Thompson. That's me. And what this is about is how to use styles in Photoshop. And I think styles are often overlooked in Photoshop, and they can really change the look and feel of a layer or text or any kind of thing you've got here going on. So right here, these three lines are actually made with styles, and they only took a second to make. So let's begin. Look at this. These are four different suite where all it was text, but adding a style, which takes a few seconds just to click on to the layer, and you can get four dynamic looks. And again, these are just infinite number of looks you can make. These are just four, and you see we've got the nice metal and the wood and the kind of reflection. And again, it's a quick way to use create a cool looking look, 3D or otherwise, and just again by using a style. So let's begin. Let's open up Photoshop. As you see here, I got Photoshop CS5 extended, or any kind of Photoshop will do, even Photoshop 7, 6, even earlier on. They all have styles. And once you have the program open, you need to go up to Windows, and you'll get a menu, and you go all the way down, and you'll see Styles. And make sure you click on that. As you can see, the arrow will point right to it. And once that you click that, you'll get a little a window box. And right now, there's not too many styles loaded into it, and these are the default styles. But you'll get a little box, and all they are little squares that look like patches or little different colors, and each one represents a different look and a different style. So let's see how we're going to use these. So first, we're going to do create a new project, and you go to File and New, and I'm going to create I work in HD TV every day, so I want to use a 720 by 1280 HD picture. And once you get that out, I want you to use the type tool. So if you go over to the right hand, that's going to be left hand side, you'll see the giant T, and that's the horizontal type tool. And as you see, I typed out Boise State. Right across the middle, and if you look to the right, you see its own new layer. You have the background that's white, and you also have your text layer, Boise State. And now, wow, how did we get there? Well, if you go over to the styles right there, all you have to do is just click on a tab, a little square. And in this case, I clicked on the little chrome satin text, and that gives it that look. And if you're using this Photoshop right now, if you just click on any of the other colors, you'll get a whole different look. So right now, we're going to go clear all that off. So if you right-click your text layer and you go at the very bottom, it says Clear Layer Style. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to start all over, and we're going to show you how to make a few different styles. And again, we're back to Boise State Black. So what you're going to do is double-click your text layer. And there you go, a layer style menu pops up. And if you look to the left of it, you see this drop shadow, inner shadow, outer glow, inner glow, and it goes down the list, and they all have a kind of a radio checkbox there. And each one of those is representing a different style that you can use in Photoshop, a kind of a layer style. So let's begin. Let's pick up at pattern overlay. So if you click on pattern overlay, you get this little menu to the right, and it has a whole bunch of different patterns. And if you spend time, you can create insert patterns from different textures that you've made, outside sources. But this is the default one, and we're just going to play around with that. So I've clicked on pattern overlay, and you see the Boise State go from black to all these kind of a bubble-looking texture. Now next, if you click on stroke, you get this black thick outline around the Boise State. It holds pattern still, but now we've got a stroke. And if you look to the right menu there, you can change the size and the blending mode and the opacity. Now, if you click drop shadow, you can see now it looks 3D. You've actually got a drop shadow there. It's an automatic drop shadow. And in the drop shadow menu, you'll be able to add the distance and length. I think I have it right here on inner shadow. And there you go. There's a drop shadow menu. If you look to the right there, you've got multiply and spread. But what I've added here right now is the bevel and emboss effect. And when you click on that, you get exactly what it says, a beveled and embossed kind of style to that. And you can look at the Boise State. It's gone from black now to actually this kind of a contoured looking 3D text. And now I'll just go over this one briefly. It's inner and outer glow. And that's a tough sell when you're using it with a drop shadow. The inner glow kind of works and you see the yellow looking around that. But if you have a drop shadow, your outer glows, you're not going to see it too much. They kind of compete with each other. So a drop shadow and an outer glow, they're not the same things, but they're really close. I think the outer glow gives it like all the way around it, whereas the drop shadow is just kind of, it's the same layer, just kind of in the distance lowered. And here we go with finally, not finally, but this is inner shadow. Now, unlike the outer glow, the inner shadow actually works really well with drop shadow. The inner shadow will kind of make it look like you've chiseled out the inside of the actual text. So if you look at that, you've still got your pattern, the outer glow, obviously the inner glow, and the bevel, and now you've got that inner shadow that makes it look like you've kind of scooped out some of the inner of the letters. And down here, we're going to click on Gradient Overlay. And you see how it's wiped out the bubble and pattern overlay. That's because when you use a color overlay or gradient overlay, it's a little higher up on the ranking scale, so it's going to overlay and you lose that look. So it's something to remember. But you have gradient overlay, and then you can also play with the blending mode, and you can go kind of maybe like a multiply or a soft light, and you can probably see the bubble right below it. And here we go. We're going to apply color overlay, and again, like the gradient overlay, when you put that over the top, you lose previous pattern overlays. And this is the final one. It's a satin effect. What it does, it kind of gives it a glass effect, and sometimes it works well. You really have to find the need. If you want to make a glass texture, this is a great way to use it. Use satin, or if you have something you want it to look like it was shiny, and if you look around the letters, you see how it kind of highlights certain contours of the text that you've already made. So if you actually look at the layers that we've done just to create this Boise State red kind of beveled look, you'll see all the little eyeballs pointing to drop shadow, inner shadow, outer glow, and so forth. And that's because you've used all those styles. And if you want to lose one, you just click on one of the eyes and you'll lose the inner shadow or outer glow or whatever you want. You just have to click your mouse onto there. Photoshop comes with only, I think, 12 preset styles at the beginning, but you don't have to use those 12. There's a whole bunch more. If you right click on the style menu there, you'll get a whole new a menu of abstract, buttons, dotted, and you can also load styles. There's third-party companies that make styles, or you can create your own and load your own styles back on it. So something to remember, you can make a whole bunch of styles. It's virtually unlimited, the amount of looks you can create, and it's a great way to just add some kind of effect to something maybe otherwise it would just be a plain solid or just a plain text. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. It was kind of fast, I understand that, but it's hard to do with PowerPoint. But again, I think this is pretty essential if you're going to use Photoshop. It's probably one of the most powerful tools on it. That's often overlooked. But again, like these Boise State Fun with Styles with Bob Thompson were 3 different styles I used, and I hope you enjoy it. Have fun doing your Photoshop.